Greetings from San Diego, California. This interactive multinational teleconference is reaching you live in English and Spanish through a unique and complex international telecommunications network via satellite, microwave, and cable. This program brings together distinguished institutions representing education, business, and government in more than a dozen countries in the Americas and Europe. We look forward to hearing from you. Today, we'll be covering the topic of technology acquisition and negotiation. This is the 11th International Training Center video conference of the year 2003 series entitled Strategies for Competitive Performance. I'm Dr. Farhad Saba, Professor of Educational Technology at San Diego State University and the moderator of today's program. Innovation and commercialization of new technologies is in many ways what drives our economy. It provides us as consumers and managers with new and improved tools and techniques that we use in our lives and in conducting business. Some companies are inherently more innovative and technologically advanced than others and quite often more profitable. The technological sophistication of a company is very likely a result of that company's fundamental belief that new technologies have the potential to first improve the company's capabilities, second, to increase its efficiencies and effectiveness, and third, to lower costs. There are many strategies that may be implemented in order to achieve and benefit from technological sophistication in most industries. Companies get new technologies by acquisition of smaller firms or by licensing new technologies from existing firms. The latter has become an increasingly popular method in that software licensing, in effect, is the licensing of new technology. Most companies to date have specific tools to automate specific tasks and some form of workflow or business process-based software programs to support their operations. In order to reap the benefits of new technologies, however, companies need to successfully select the right technology and then ensure its successful implementation throughout the organization. The implementation is often the hardest part, requiring perhaps many times the cost of the technology itself. During this program, we will review the importance and strategies of technology acquisition and negotiation, the global sources of information available today, the costs involved, and the risks to be managed. In Module 1, entitled The Integrative Model of Organizational Behavior, Dr. Rachna Kumar will illustrate, through giving examples of several successful companies, how technology is intertwined with human emotions and knowledge, how strategies are formulated to serve the customer, and how changing customer needs and tastes call for new products and processes. In Module 2, entitled Applying Technology Acquisition and Innovation to Your Organization, Dr. Meenakshi Krishnamoorthy will provide examples of successful airlines and automobile manufacturers and analyze strategies adopted by them to have led to customer satisfaction and business success. We will also discuss the role of United Nations agencies that help developing countries acquire new and emerging technologies, and we will provide you with valuable information on the negotiation process when acquiring technology from an external provider. We will conclude by discussing 6 practical steps for synchronizing internal organizational factors with external conditions that are essential to keep your organization at the forefront of technological developments, as technology will remain to be the leading ingredient for competitiveness in the foreseeable future. Dr. Rachna Kumar is Professor of Information Systems and Technology in the United States International University College of Business Administration at Alliant International University, where she teaches courses related to database management, technology strategy, telecommunications and networking, and global information systems at both the undergraduate and graduate levels. Previously, she held faculty and teaching positions at New York University, University of Connecticut at Hartford, University of Texas at Austin, and California State University at San Marcos. Dr. Kumar's primary areas of research and consulting include software productivity, management, internet and e-commerce strategy, technology transfer to developing nations, e-learning, and developing strategic information technology portfolios in organizations. Over the past 10 years, she has consulted in several organizations in New York, San Diego, India, and Mexico. She has widely published articles in reputed journals and book chapters, including Journal of Management Information Systems, annual editions in e-business, the Handbook of Software Engineering Productivity, Software Engineering, Economics and Declining Budgets, and Informs Publications. Dr. Kumar is a founding member of Global Mind, Center for Strategic Consulting. The center undertakes consulting projects in the areas of organizational strategy. In addition, Dr. Kumar is the project coordinator on several grant projects dealing with organizations such as the Software Engineering Institute at Carnegie Mellon University and the Consortium for North American Higher Education Collaboration. She received her Ph.D. degree from New York University in the area of information systems in 1992. Dr. M. Krishnamoorthy is Professor of Quantitative Methods at United States International University. His 35 years of experience in the field spans a wide range of professional accomplishments and academic achievements in the U.S. and elsewhere in the world. Dr. Krishnamoorthy's impressive resume includes Professor and Director of Indian Institute of Management in Kolkata, India, Chairman of Hindustan Cables Limited, Research Associate and Ford Foundation Faculty Fellow at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Executive Director of the National Productivity Council in New Delhi, India, Visiting Lecturer at the University of Michigan, Senior Advisor and Head of Research Planning of the Asian Productivity Organization in Tokyo, Japan, and Chief Technical Advisor of the International Labour Organization with postings in Nigeria and Bangladesh. Dr. Krishnamoorthy research and consulting focus is on technology transfer to developing nations, quantitative decision modeling at TQM. Dr. Krishnamoorthy has contributed more than 80 documents, including national and international conference papers, journal articles, books, monograms, and technical reports to the United Nations and other organizations. He holds a doctorate in industrial administration from Manchester University. Thank you and welcome to the program today. Let me begin with some questions. Most technology transfer and adoption models are based on national decision-making, rather rational decision-making. I said national, I meant to say rational decision-making. Is there a role for emotion in technology transfer and adoption?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, we used to think that organizations make rational decisions, and no more, because we know organizations are social systems. And the minute you say social systems, you have social behavior, you have human beings, power plays. So technology decisions can be irrational as well, because sometimes they mean new skills, sometimes they mean job layoffs, and when you have these factors come in, there is irrationality that comes in. So just to name a couple of examples, software outsourcing is one example where technology decision can be irrational.
Excellent. Thank you. Also, technology has been traditionally associated with large investments, large organizations, and advanced or industrialized countries, as well as with specific products. Is that still the case today or in the future?
Not quite. If you look at the statistics today in the U.S., you would notice that somewhere around 8 million new jobs are added every 3 months for the last 2 decades in this country. Maybe there are jobs being lost due to other reasons, but new jobs are being created. Where are they coming? It's an interesting question. Strangely enough, as technology is improving, we are becoming more and more knowledge intensive. So jobs are coming up in small scale sector and in knowledge intensive areas, which is in the field of service.
That's very impressive. Thank you for your excellent insights. Let's begin now with Module 1.
The concept of technology refers to any applied scientific knowledge that has a productive value to society. For example, the steam engine generated the Industrial Revolution, the silicon diode and the transistor produced the electronic and computer era. The satellite motivated the telecommunications explosion. And more recently, the mapping of human DNA is opening a new world for genetics. But all technologies have a worldwide or industry-wide impact. At the organizational level, all leading enterprises have a certain way of doing things that make them more competitive than others. This video conference presents an integrated organizational model where technology plays a key role. Market forces drive a business towards innovation, which is key to remaining competitive. Discriminating customers expect high quality at a low price. Anyone who can deliver what the customer wants knows how to survive. We will illustrate, through giving examples of several successful companies, how technology is intertwined with human emotions and knowledge, how strategies are formulated to serve the customer, how changing customer needs and tastes call for new products and processes. We will also examine why some automobiles seem to be more appealing to certain generations than others, and what makes niche airlines thrive through the economic downturn, while the big six struggle to survive. Several International Training Center speakers in the recent past have dealt with the key concepts of ETK and synchronization. What we will discuss here is a synthesis of these ideas and give a few pointers for implementation of an integrated model. Unraveling and understanding the key to an organization's competitive performance has been a favorite topic for as well as chief executives alike. What factors determine the trajectory of an organization's success and growth over time? How can organizations ensure success in new ventures such as product, service, or promotion launches? We believe that innovation in technology and optimal usage of technology provides answers to these questions. Organizations that innovate and acquire the right technology and harness that technology's power will enjoy sustained competitive performance. Acquisition and innovation of technology, however, is intertwined with several other dimensions of organizational behavior which are necessary to achieve successful competitive performance. For example, organizations have to closely analyze their customers' needs and then evaluate the right technology to acquire in order to best support the identified customer requirements and relationships. Another example would relate to the emotions and cultures present within an organization. It would make no sense to acquire technology to support customer needs if that technology were not in sync with the emotions and culture of the organization and its employees. The technology innovated or acquired would not be appropriate, and this could lead to consequences ranging from suboptimal usage to sabotage. Today, we would like to describe an integrated model for organizational behavior, where technology plays a key role in successful performance. Although the model includes technology as only one dimension, we illustrate through several examples how competitive and successful organizations acquire and innovate technology within the context of several dimensions such as customer needs, organizational emotions, knowledge, external community, and so on. The model is designed to prescribe steps and guidelines to help organizations in developing and implementing continuously successful technology-based strategies. Our model proposes to help organizations decide on their focus regarding technology acquisition and innovation with the goal of ensuring sustained competitive performance. In previous video presentations of this series, you have learned and discussed different concepts that help build a framework for organizational performance. One simple and basic concept presented by Stephen Goldstein was that of synchronization. He defined synchronization as the process of linking events and actions so they occur at the same time or in a predetermined sequence. The claim made was that synchronized organizations are successful and non-synchronized ones are unsuccessful. Synchronized organizations are able to move all their constituent components in concert and in harmony with each other so as to derive maximal synergy with the organization's entirety. This leads to organizational behavior where all actions and policies are synchronized with each other. All actions and policies are building upon each other in the same direction, and all actions and policies are reinforcing each other's impacts in order to increase chances of success. The question then becomes about how to achieve organizational synchronization and what role technology plays in the process. Goldstein described this process as working outside in by looking outside the organization to see how it needs to synchronize itself and then reshaping the organization internally to serve those outside needs. Extending these concepts, our model describes organizational synchronization as a two-pronged process. One, synchronizing the organization's actions and moves with the external environment, and two, synchronizing internal organizational elements to capitalize on the organization's external environmental elements. We will explore the details of this model more in the next several minutes. Let's first work with a practical conceptualization of what an organization is. We cannot talk about an organization's performance without sharing a definition of an organization. There are several definitions of organizations, as rational systems, as irrational systems, as task achievers, as input process output systems. Since our model is a functional one, let's take a functional description of an organization. In very basic terms, an organization formulates strategies as means for achieving competitive growth and success. It formulates tactics to help implement these strategies, and it performs operations to actually execute the strategy. So this would be the workable basic definition of an organization we will use. Now let's look at the organization's external environment and the factors that need synchronization when acquiring technology for organizational performance. It comprises all elements that are not internal or owned by the organization, and yet they impact the workings and the success of the organization critically. Clients and customers of the organization is one such very critical environmental factor. Customer satisfaction with the organization's products and services is key to the organization's continued success. The needs of the larger population, the community segment that the organization serves, is a second component that determines the growth of and trends affecting an organization's future offerings. A third component is the competition that the organization faces in actions and moves. Competitors and their actions, their moves, and their stance critically impact an organization's opportunities and chances of success. The technology that an organization acquires or innovates should take into account what the organization's competitors are using, either as a baseline or benchmark, to either obtain a better competitive advantage or to acquire a minimum for competitor survival. Next, we add some external environment components which impact the logistics of moving products and services from the organization to external stakeholders or factors. These factors include suppliers and other inputs such as recruitment, subcontractors, distributors, etc. Of late, technology-supported supply chain management has taken a forefront in implementing cutting-edge strategies and in cost-cutting endeavors. These components are sometimes controllable by organizations and sometimes uncontrollable to varying extents. Let's now turn our attention to the internal dimensions of an organization's focus. In other International Training Center programs, Jerry Finnegan has introduced the concepts of ETK, emotional intelligence, technology awareness, and knowledge management, as three areas that must be embraced if an organization is to be successful in doing continued business. Our model proposes that in order to be successful, technology acquisition and innovation should be synchronized with these dimensions as well. When technology innovation decisions are made, focusing on the emotions present within the organization leads to empathy in decision making and helps to build rapport with employees and people. It motivates people to work with heart and to contribute in synergistic ways towards the common good of the organization and effect a quantum change in the purpose and strategies of the organization. Emotional awareness also inspires the organization to synchronize its internal strategies, tactics, and operations with the customer and community, thereby building rapport and empathy. The next dimension, technology, is of course the dimension that we are trying to understand in this model. Technology helps provide the organization the competence and the tools to achieve the proper execution and implementation of its strategies, its operations, and its tactics. In today's economy, proper utilization of appropriate technology is crucial for an organization to achieve results in any sphere of its dedicated activities. Knowledge management is essential to capturing meaning from the vast amount of data that technology makes accessible to the organization. Only when relevant meaning, trends, and patterns are captured can an organization attempt proper decision-making and proper actions or moves. Our model adds two other internal dimensions for an organization's focus: finance and information. Finance refers to the proper acquisition and utilization of funds in the performance of the organization's activities. This is crucial to the efficient performance and success of any organization in general, and of successful technology acquisition and innovation in particular. Information refers to the data about the organization's operations, its functioning, and its actions. Information is critical for monitoring, controlling, and for correcting the progress of an organization as a whole and its components as integral pieces. And technology is a crucial provider of this information. So now we have an integrated model for an organization's behavior. Organizations that are successful are the ones that develop strategies, tactics, and operations by synchronizing elements of their external environment, elements such as competitors, competition, customers, community, suppliers, and other inputs, with elements of their internal environment such as emotions, technology, knowledge, information, and finance. And therein lies our understanding of the role technology acquisition and innovation plays in an organization's successful competitive behavior. However, there is one more overarching dimension that we must discuss before our model for organizational behavior and technology acquisition and innovation is complete. Our study of organizational behavior in the context of recent events in the business world has led us to include one other very important dimension to the model, and that is the ethics of technology usage. Every element in the model should be synchronized with this ethics element. Webster defines ethics as a discipline dealing with good and evil and with moral duty. Alternatively, ethics is concerned with moral principles or practice. So why do we propose that ethics is an all-encompassing and important element in the technology context? Because technology changes business processes and is key to an organization's handling of complex problems. And why is it important to exercise ethics in the use of technology? Not just because it is a timeless principle of good living. There is, in fact, a self-serving reason. It increases the chances of success for our organizations. Let's look at how the ethics of technology interfaces with the other synchronized elements in our model. Take the following question, for example. Should technology journalists own stocks in companies they report on? Plants spiked with extra genes are being harvested. Could harmful ones end up in our food? Questions like this make it imperative that our efforts at technology innovation, we constantly keep the interests of the larger community and society in mind. Here are 3 ethically sound practices that relate to technology. First, analyze and utilize knowledge obtained from technological innovations ethically and with conscience. For example, organizations should not sell the personal buying profiles of their customers to their organizations or to other organizations. Second, exhibit organizational conscience in using technology-based analyses to capitalize on and influence customer needs and employee sentiments, that is, their emotions. Third, assert technological superiority in moderation by equitably sharing power and resources with suppliers and with competitors. Yes, one should have a conscience when dealing with competitors as well, because if organizations do not exercise fairness and equitability in their attempts to increase market share, they likely will face problems in the form of group lawsuits or boycotts. Every internal and external organizational dimension needs to be synchronized with the ethics of technology usage. The ethics of technology usage should be woven throughout the fabric of our organizational behavior model. So how does this play out in the real world? We have studied several successful organizations and have found that these organizations exhibit behaviors that utilize technology-based initiatives which tightly synchronize different sets of the model's dimensions. The dimensions are synchronized to varying extents, and the dimensions they choose to maximally synchronize vary depending on their organizational priorities and strengths. Let me illustrate this by discussing 3 short examples involving the following companies: Levi Strauss, Nestle, and IBM. Levi Strauss jeans were once synonymous with the jean product category. But in recent years, Levi Strauss Company has experienced declining sales and market share. From peak sales of $7.1 billion in 1996, the company's sales fell to $4.1 billion in 2002.